Hey guys, it's time for your week 6 recap. I guess this is part 2 because, Zane put his out yesterday. Great job as always. Although I don't understand the Peterson trade still, but, the recap was pretty good. Anyway, as you can see, this is where I work during the day. Living in my in-laws' house, so while our house is being pretty much destroyed. They're renovating the whole entire inside, as you saw a couple weeks ago. Anyway, this used to be Todd's room, and not anymore. So let's recap this week. I have a few notes to answer Zane's question. I answered yesterday an email. No team has ever started 0-6, which probably is the reason why the domino fell yesterday, and all the trades just trades were going crazy. They were going out your freaking butthole. Trades were just, oh my gosh, I don't know. I think we had 6 trades yesterday, and then tons of picks just thrown in the air. That was crazy, and I always say this every year. As we get closer to the deadline, 3 weeks out now, when one trade happens, it just seems it's a trickle down effect, and everyone starts freaking out, and they're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? So that was fun to watch, though. It keeps me busy, instead of just looking at myself in the mirror like I normally do. I had something to do, actually, so I appreciate that, guys. Also, speaking of Sharknadoes, I know he's 0-6, and no team's ever been 0-6, but he's lost 3 of those games by combined 6.2 points. So it goes with the whole unluckiest guy ever theory that I throw out there. And he's also scored more points this year than any team in the hardline division. That's the division that everyone's 3-3. Yeah, the Sharknadoes have outscored every one of you guys. So consider yourself lucky, very lucky. Anyway, Sharknadoes lost to me this week. I'm not even going to spend much time on that. Oh, earthquake. I thought Percy Harvin was going to have a big week. Turned out he sucked, which was okay because I like the Cowboys. It worked out. Fro and Roger Goodell played. C.J. Spiller is horrible. That Peyton Manning trade's looking better and better for the Cox. C.J. Spiller got negative .1 points last week, and I'm hearing that he's going to lose carries now to what's his name, Antoine Smith or something. I don't know. And Anthony Dixon. Antoine Smith is the guy in the Falcons. Anyway, so yeah, Fro got his booty kicked. The Rowdies, I don't know how you're doing it, Zane, but you're doing it, okay? You beat the Bad Boys, which Eli Manning, you would have thought that this would be the week that Eli would go off, and he went off into his own little place out in left field and just kind of stood there, and his offensive line was like, I don't know. And they just let everybody that wanted to sack him, they're just like, hey, you wanna take a shot on Eli? Yeah, well, all right. He put up 6.3 points and that actually was better than Marshawn Lynch, which surprised me because Marshawn, I thought the Cowboys were gonna lose and were going to get embarrassed, and I was so happy that was wrong. And I cannot believe that Marshawn was held to 6.2 points last week. Moving along, United States Tom Brady. 1 second. Okay. You see that? That's me eating my words. Okay, that's what that was, in case you were wondering. You actually, Adam Jennings, are either the luckiest guy in the world or I've underestimated you. Maybe you're our version of Bill Belichick. No pun intended with the name United States Tom Brady, but I don't know how you're doing it, but you are well done. Well done. You won. You're 3-3, but you should have won this week. But Cody his team finally put up what he thought they would. He wised up. He told me earlier in the week, "Hey, I'm benching Stafford." I didn't believe it, but he said it. He put in Joe Flacco, which I'll be honest, I did not even realize that Joe Flacco was starting for anybody until Sunday night. I was looking at the scores, like, man, how did Cody score so many points? And I looked at his roster. I was like, this is my reaction. And I mean, Joe Flacco, wow. I don't know, man. That's a ballsy move there by Cody. Well done. Hey, well played, sir. You got the win last week. Moving on, something offensive in White People for Peace, the game of the week, and it turned out to be a pretty good game. Actually, I usually flop on the game of the weeks, but this one actually was pretty close. Bruce was a little worried the 49ers might lose it for him. It's that whole controversy. Defense is getting negative points. It's always been like that. I'm not sure why all of a sudden this year we're throwing fits about it, but we'll address that at the winter drinking. Anyway, but he was worried, when St. Louis started throwing the ball and scoring early, and he said he would be pissed if he lost because of San Francisco's defense. But then, the game played out, and San Francisco put up 17 points, and White People for Peace ended up just, beating something offensive. Zane did go over this. Wes Welker and Victor Cruz. That was not. That was not expected at all. Both of those guys were just horrible. Of course, Victor, he's out for the year. God bless his soul. But, hey, sometimes it happens, Yo. Gotham Knights. So close. You could have just started Cam. Oh. I think we all learned a valuable lesson here. That if you do start Ben Roethlisberger, you will get raped. And Todd was raped this past weekend by Ben Roethlisberger. The Cox win again. Even when the Cox have a down week, they're winning. It's insane. And speaking of the Cox, I got some notes here, okay? All right, so White People for Peace started 6-0 in 2010, okay? They finished 7-5 and lost to the Isotopes in the championship game, okay? The other team that started 6-0 was freaking Froberg, and he started 6-0 last year, and he finished 9-3 and lost to the Bad Boys in the first round of the playoffs. So, as no team has ever started 7-0, but the two teams that have started 6-0 have never won a championship. So, hey, let's break the trend, right, Kevin? No, let's not break the trend. Let's stick to the losing the playoffs trend. I like that. Also, chia pets are not really pets; they're plants. That was on my notes too. That about concludes this week. This week's recap, week 6. Looking forward to week 7. The second half of the season's coming up, boys. Anything can happen. That hardline division is wide open. It's as open as a prison boy's anus. Like, that is just boom, big time. Anybody's division. Anybody can win it. It's going to be very interesting to watch and very intriguing to see. And I will talk about it later. So, this is me signing off to you, and hugs and kisses.